God's Debris by Scott Adams. A friend of mine recommended this book a while back, and I read it like 5 or 6 times because it is very brief, but it's also very loaded. It straddles the line between fiction and nonfiction because it's not really based on real or imagined events, and it's not about science or philosophy. It's just what I would call a reality stretcher. Maybe spiritual or philosophical narrative is a better category for it, but I don't know if that's an option on Amazon. The main takeaway or the main thing to learn from the book is just how shaky our understanding is. We think we know what we are, what reality is, maybe even what God is and how the universe works. But when we're pressed to answer these questions directly, our ignorance is quickly revealed. This book forces you to confront the fact that we mostly operate under a cloud of misconceptions about the things that we all believe to be the most settled in life and the most important in life. Things from gravity to space-time to the nature of ourselves and the nature of God. I also think this book does an excellent job showing us just how important it is that we periodically challenge our assumptions, because we probably aren't nearly as right about anything as we think we are. We must routinely vet and check whatever it is we believe to be true if we want to ensure that we're as right as we can be. And of course, if being right is important, then checking the validity or the accuracy of our understanding is equally important, even if it may not always be comfortable and we may not always see the immediate use in doing so. Unlike many books, God's Debris does not try to tell you what to think, and it does not use a bunch of facts to try to make its point. It does convey information, but some of it is obviously untrue if you understand a little bit of science, so you have to use your own mind and your own judgment to determine what makes sense and what doesn't. And I think the end result, the net effect, is to cause you to question things that you were once very confident in, just a little bit more closely. If you're inclined to embrace mind-stretching thought exercises, you'll probably enjoy God's Debris, but it may disrupt your week, maybe even your month, by sending you down a rabbit hole while you try to shore up your knowledge. Now, the benefit of these thought exercises isn't just to shrink our ignorance, it's also to give us a newfound perspective on things we already know and have since glossed over. And if we're able to do so, we can obtain a new appreciation for things we once thought were settled and mundane, which has the added benefit of increasing the default complexity and richness of the experience of our own existence. I plan on taking what is essentially 2 chapters in a point-by-point breakdown for a future video, but I want to listen 1 or 2 more times to the audiobook I have, even though I've listened several times, as I said before, just because there's so much crammed in here. And I will say that knowing that the creator of the Dilbert cartoon, Scott Adams, wrote this book only enhances my appreciation for it, because I do remember really enjoying his comics when I was growing up from the Sunday paper, even if I had to have my mother explain them to me. This book is a strong recommend, obviously, but it does come with that one caveat about potentially upsetting questions and suggestions. So if you are in a place where you can question and think deeply about these topics and issues, I think you should, because I'm a firm believer that the more we challenge what we know and what we don't know, the more likely we are to open up a new window and a new door on ourselves and our world. So the benefits and the advantages are apparent in my opinion. But let me know what you think. If you've read the book, if you have any thoughts or any questions, leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, of course, and I will see you on the next one. Later.